title town, USA, and historic Lambeau Field. The Green Bay Packers getting set to host the Seattle Seahawks in the national doubleheader game coming your way on CBS. And hello, friends. Jim Nantz and Tony Romo and Tracy Wilson. Great to have all of you with us. An important game coming up, the return game for two future Hall of Fame quarterbacks. We'll get a little deeper into the Aaron Rodgers story as the game goes on. But Aaron coming back from COVID, missing practice in person, coming back yesterday for the walkthrough. What do you expect out of him today?
Well, I think physically, we already saw it before. He looks fine. He's going to have a ton of pop on the ball. You're going to see Aaron Rodgers play good football. It's just like a bye week for him, right? He just missed it. So I expect him to have a good game today. And
how about the amazing comeback from the finger injury by Russell Wilson, beating all expectations?
This is not even real. It's so different, and we're going to explain it later. But Russell Wilson being here today, that was not possible in our brain 2 weeks ago. But what a special game we get to call, Jim. Two great quarterbacks. Here we go.
Yep, five-star matchup it is. Before kickoff, let's go down to Tracy.
Well, Jim, the snow has stopped, but it is cold, and you wonder how this weather could affect Russell Wilson in terms of gripping the football. Now, he doesn't normally like to wear a glove, but we saw him in pregame warm-ups. He was wearing a specially made glove on that hand, tried to throw with it, didn't like it, took it off. He has a little protection on that middle finger every time he threw the ball in warm-up, so he was fiddling with it. So it is certainly something to watch today, Jim.
Well, the Packers will be on the field first as Seattle defers at the top. And yes, we had snow overnight, but the sky's clearing here in the late afternoon, and it is, as Tracy said, bundle up. It is frighteningly cold here.
Is he bundled up, or is he made himself colder?
I don't know. That's what it feels like, though. I know that. So Seattle to kick at the top, coming off a bye week, getting Russell back 3-5 overall, taking on the Packers. Green Bay defeated last week down at Arrowhead, lost to Kansas City, ending a 7-game win streak. We're underway with Myers' kick, traveling to about the 4. Taylor take it down the sideline, and he's up to about the 35 and a fine return. Myers, the kicker, helped in that return of 32 yards, and here comes Aaron Rodgers with 17 touchdowns, only 3 interceptions on the season, and again missed the game last week down at Kansas City as Jordan Love got his first career start, a 13-7 Chiefs victory. There's Davante Adams, and this powerful combo, Rodgers and Adams, and the great bond that they have. There's Love, threw a late touchdown on that game, but the Packers coming up short to Kansas City in that one. Aaron Jones comes back into the backfield on the first snap of the game. It's a high one and a quick toss over to Adams. Blockers in front, tries to deliver a stiff arm, and he's got to pick up about 3. Amadi helped knock him out. I'd like to welcome all of those just joining us now as we're just one play into the game. A little Rodgers pass to Davante Adams on the first snap of the game. Jim Nantz, Tony Romo, Tracy Wolfson. Good to have all of you with us from Lambeau Field. 2nd and 7. Again out of the gun. Pass broken up, and that was dangerous as Reed almost able to make a play on that ball, and there was nothing but daylight ahead.
Well, and it's cover 2. They drop out a defender, but right here Aaron leads Adams right into Reed and really got away with that one. That was a poor decision right there at number 12, and he doesn't usually make those.
Matt LaFleur, 45 games into his coaching career with 35 wins. It's the best win percentage of all the legendary coaches in the Packers' glorious history. Here's the 3rd and 7.
And no Adams on the field after that. Took a little shot. He had to go off.
On the field he goes. Got an open man, and it is caught. Valdez-Scantling takes it all the way inside the Seattle 20.
Well, that didn't take long. No Adams. One-on-one coverage on the left side. Valdez-Scantling just wins right away, and Reed did a great job in cover 2, but when you have to go one-on-one, you can't slip. And that's what Coach talked about. Coach Carroll, he said, you know, they've just played here so many times, the turf, right? They know they don't slip and blah, blah, blah. And all of a sudden you see it affects Seattle right away.
41 yards for the big play receiver. Here's a handoff. And Jones for about 3. So that was a long completion on a 3rd down, 3rd and long. And back comes Davante Adams into the lineup after being checked a little bit on the sideline.
And that's not a good sign right away if you're Seattle, that as soon as you get rid of helping out the corners, because they've kind of changed a little bit when you watch this defense. They're not the same cover 3, right, where they have one-on-one a little bit on the outsides and get zone. They have a lot more of these safeties high that you see, and they like to help out the corners.
And 2nd and 7. Rodgers thought about it. Now he'll keep it. He knows where that first down marker is, and he has it. But there is a marker back at the 20 line. Brad Allen's crew here to officiate. And it's coming back.
Holding. Offense, number 74. 10-yard penalty. 2nd out.
Called on Jenkins, the left tackle. They're very close to having David Bakhtiari back. He's been out for a better part of a year with the torn ACL. He was back in practice this week, just not physically ready. Should be a week or 2 away. And there's Jenkins on the right side with the hold.
Tough to tell, and that one didn't look like much, did it?
Well, it saw enough, I guess, and he'll back up now to the 27. 2nd and 17.
You keep watching those safeties deep, Jim. They stay back pretty far, especially against a guy like Rodgers for a long time.
Looks right, looks left. And he is taken down by Green, Rasheem Green. And a loss of 5.
And you'll see this is where the safeties are deep. They can come in and help. On Adams right there, it's like a double team. And sometimes it's zone, like this side is zone. You see how the guys just went off. The other side was man. This is very different what Seattle's doing, and they've really come on. I think they're a better team. We talk about their yards. They're like 31st in yards. So it's like, oh, are they great on defense? Jim, they're top 10, like 9, 7, and 5 in a lot of big-time categories. Scoring, red zone, 3rd down. I'm telling you, this is a pretty formidable unit.
3rd and 22. They'll go back to Adams, and he's taken down right away by Diggs. But that little completion puts them now inside the 30, and field goal attempt on the way coming up for Crosby. Tough week last week. Special teams been an issue here for Green Bay. Had poor snaps, some holding issues. Bojorquez is going to be the holder. 2nd game for the long snapper, Stephen Wardle. 42 yards for an opening drive field goal. And Crosby's kick is wavering, no good.
It was almost like you were telling us it just hasn't been great lately on purpose, and you're right. It's just a little bit off lately, and you can see right here.
He's missed now 7 of his last 14 attempts. Russell Wilson, he's back for his 150th career start. It's never been easy for him at Lambeau Field, winless at 0-4, but here he is just 37 days after surgically repairing a ruptured tendon on the right middle finger and a dislocation. There were estimates highly reported that 6 to 8 weeks at best. He told us this week that the doctor said actually it was 8 weeks at best. He does it in far shorter time frame than that. As they go with Alex Collins on a carry for their first snap. Here's the Seahawks offensive line, and just how about Russell Wilson and what he did to get back here, Tone?
Well, it shows multiple facets there, Jim. First, it shows his work ethic, right? His commitment. Like he's going to go ahead and do this stuff like 7 times a day.
Some trouble now. He's able to get it away. Oh, that was some kind of pressure by Kenny Clark that forced the throw away. Now it'll be 3rd and 8.
Kenny Clark's just going to dominate the left side over 68 right there. And you can see the speed and the attack angle he takes. Really impressive when you turn the tape on with Kenny Clark. His effort.
You're talking about this 7 times a day getting therapy. He would even be awakened in the night and have a overnight treatment on the finger.
It's crazy, but you know what? That's him, and that's what's made him a special player. He leaves no stone unturned.
Trying to wiggle free and somehow avoids the sack twice, and with all that's able to rush for the first down, scrambling and getting out of trouble on 2 occasions.
And this is a big call right here. I think they're going to give him the first down, but it's close. But right there, him getting a first down is huge, because we talk about the footing on this field. That's why it's so tough to come in here and win, amongst other things, but one of the small advantages they get. But as a quarterback, I think Russell's going to come in rusty. It's just hard to take off that much time and come right back in the first drive or two, not feel that fight or flight within you. And it's just going to take him a little time. So for him to get a first down early, that helps calm and get you back into your normal routine.
They finally moved the sticks. The replay showed that he had it by a good half yard. That's Rashawn Gary, who was shaken up and now is on his feet. And he's going to walk off. But back to Russell and his surgeon down in Los Angeles, Dr. Steve Shin, who just called it amazing, absolutely amazing, for what Russell did to fight his way back. But Russell's very grateful for the great folks that operated on him. It took place the day after that Thursday night injury. He got scanned in Seattle and flew down first thing in the morning, just hours after that game, and went in and wanted to take care of it as quickly as possible, trying to target this very week to get back. And here he is, after missing the only game action of his entire career. Never missed an NFL game, never missed a game he couldn't recall at any level.
His ability to move, create, and also never take hits. That was a gift right when he came into the NFL. You always felt, Pete Carroll saw it.
Well, they moved the chains. They moved the chains, and now they're telling
it's fourth.
Pete Carroll, they moved them just now. They moved them back.
So it's fourth and
inches.
inches.
Saw it on the screen. They had it. They had it already moved the sticks and everything. Now they move him back to 4th and inches. I don't think it's the right spot. Watch him come diving in here. Well, there's the knee.
His knee's down. He is just short.
Where's the knee down?
It was down.
Where's the ball?
Oh, they're going to punt this. Wow.
They're going to bring out Dixon to punt.
Well, a little bit, it's more like 4th and 1 than it is inches. I mean, it shows there, but if you really look, that line's up there is even further away than that yellow one.
Here's the Dixon boot. Rogers, Amari Rogers, scanning the left side, and the angle's not there. He's out of bounds at about the 22. So back for the second series comes Aaron Rodgers. 6 minutes into the game here at Lambeau.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Domino's. Get great deals on pizza, bread twist, chicken, desserts, and more. Ghostbusters Afterlife, in theaters November 19th. And by AT&T 5G. Fast, reliable, and secure.
Well, it's turned out to be a pleasant afternoon here in Green Bay, again after snow showers overnight. And a good 4 inches of snow accumulating right here in Green Bay, Wisconsin, a town of 104,000 with 81,000 inside the stadium come game day. And here comes the second series for the Packers with A.J. Dillon now at running back. He's been impressive the last couple of weeks. He's going to get the handle. Dillon rips off a good run for about 11. Well, for Aaron Rodgers, has been quite a firestorm the last 11 days after testing positive. And well, back in August, he was asked if he was vaccinated, and his response was, yeah, I'm immunized. Then on November 3rd, the world discovered otherwise, and he went through the 10-day quarantine, ended up yesterday with the quarantine and then cleared all tests needed to return this week. In his own way, he owned up to his misleading comments, saying I misled some people about my status, which I take full responsibility for.
Well, I'm glad he did that. I'm glad he took responsibility for that.
There's the toss to Dillon. And that's a pickup of around 6. 2 good runs by Dillon. We did talk to Aaron yesterday, Tony, and he said, was anything misrepresented during all of this? Because it's been the subject of so much attention. He said, hey, I said what I said, and I stand by it.
Yeah, and I was glad that he came out and said how he had misled people. And I think the biggest thing, you know, it's a polarizing issue, but I can promise you he felt the weight of it the last few weeks. It's been something that he's not thinking about anything else, and it's been a very challenging, make no mistake, week for him. And coming into this game, I think he's ready to play football, and this organization wants to as well, and try and put that behind him and move on.
Here's a 2nd and 5. He's got the completion to Tyler Davis. And how do you think moving forward it affects Aaron after all of this attention that it's gotten?
Well, I think it's 2 parts. I think physically he's going to be fine, right? He's out for 10 days. We've seen him out here before the game. He's throwing the ball fine. His body looks okay. So I think you're going to see the Aaron Rodgers. It's just like taking a bye week for a veteran. That part of it's no problem. The mental side, though, like I just said, is a challenging thing, right? He's dealt with adversity throughout his whole career. But this is right there with anything he's gone through, if not the worst kind of week or two. And I think that's the big thing you're trying to look at, right? Is he going to be fine to be able to move on? Because it's going to be tough with the questions coming and a lot of other things. But I think he'll handle it like he always has, you know, through all the adversity in his career.
And that's a 3rd and 1 stop by Brooks. And Tracy, with more on this, go ahead.
Well, Jim, in terms of how all this might have affected him in the locker room, I asked him if he felt like he needed to clear the air with anyone, any of his teammates, and he said no conversation needed to take place. He said, my teammates actually reached out to me. They checked in to see how I was feeling. He said, but everyone knew from day one what his status was when he walked in the building, and he didn't think anything else needed to be said, Jim.
Okay, Tracy. There's a 4th and 2. There's some stop by Brooks, clogging up that middle. So a short series for the Packers. Bojorquez's punt. It's a good one. Back to the 8-yard line, and the fair catch is made. Swain with the fair catch, but they're pinned back inside their 10 after a 50-yard boot, and now Russell Wilson. And the Seahawks will have their 2nd possession. Inside the NFL, streaming exclusively on Paramount Plus. You can get expert insight, exclusive commentary from the hardest hitting team in the game. Stream new episodes of the Emmy Award-winning series Tuesdays at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time. It's available. So the Seahawks team at 3-5. They've committed the fewest giveaways of any team in the league. Usually that amounts to a winning record, but not the case. Just 4 giveaways on the year, 0 turnovers in 5 of their 8 games. And here's a little quick pass. A nice piece of running, too, by Gerald Everett, the former Ram, for a 1st down. Let's get a little Romo report here when Seattle is on offense, Tony.
Well, one of the biggest things for Seattle is when Russell Wilson comes back, it's time to go deep. We're talking about one of the all-time great deep throwers of the ball. And you got a guy in DK Metcalf and Lockett. I mean, this is going to be an explosive unit when they come back. I believe they just need to be better on 3rd down. And as far as Green Bay, bend, but don't break. Don't give up these big ones.
Look at this big one down the field and nothing there. Oh, there's a flag, though, as Lockett got tangled up with Sullivan.
It's a great play call right there by Shane Waldron, the offensive coordinator. And you see the hold at the end. That was definitely a good call, but that's what they're going to do. They're going to take shots down the field and challenge you.
Defense number 39. By rule, the ball is placed at the spot of the foul. Automatic 1st down.
Again, this is a drive that started back at their own 9 with that big penalty. They cross midfield. Sullivan trying to back off of him. At one point, he's saying that's on them.
Well, that looked like a little acting, you know, by Lockett, but I think he held him a little more than that before. And I think that's where they got him and slowed the momentum of Lockett down.
They're actually going to mark it not past the 50. Going to move it on this side. Contact made at the 45, so a 24-yard penalty. They go with Collins. Look at Collins galloping for a gain of 11. We've got an update. We've got JB and the coach on the call in New York.
In OT, Steelers.
Here we go. Mason Rudolph in for Ben Roethlisberger. Throws a Pat Fry move. He fumbles with 15 seconds to go in overtime. This would have set up a potential game-winning field goal by Chris Boswell, who's hit it from 56 yards. The game ends in a tie, 16-16.
Jim Nance.
All right, fellas, so the Lions aren't going to lose them all. We know that now. They got a tie, but for the Steelers in that wacky AFC, Tony, with all those teams that have 5 wins, it's going to be interesting how that tie at the end of the year, which side of it does it help them by a half game or cost them a half game?
True. I just don't think it's going to be enough for Detroit to get in the playoffs.
I think, no, that's
You're
out.
not saying that, man. It's still, it feels like that tie, it's one of those, if you're 0-15-1, did you still never win a game, or is that a big deal? You know, does it feel like you won? I mean, it's better than losing.
2nd and 4, toss back play, and Wilson goes short with it, and after all of that trickery, Seattle's going to lose 6. Disley got knocked back.
Campbell's been playing really good football. You see 59 does a great job waiting and coming in and getting Disley. And the thing, though, is I think he's open. You see this right here? 19 gets open hard, but the biggest issue was that Kenny Clark read it and came flying in and made Russell have to get the ball out. Effort, effort, effort. That's what this is right here by Kenny Clark over and over again.
Homer, the running back, drops him back to a 3rd and 10 with the loss of 6 on that play. Here's Wilson with no glove on his hand, and he is wrapped up. Merciless.
Yeah, and there's Whitney Merciless, and you see right here, he gets one-on-one on the left side, and you think you're going to be okay, but on that left side, one-on-one with Brown. Really, it was just Merciless getting a great start off the ball and then making Brown get turned, and Russell wasn't able to step up. And that's a little bit where I think Russell, as the game gets going, he'll start to step, move a little bit, you know, like the old Russell.
Here's Dixon's punt. It bounces, and boy, did it have the right action on it. It goes out of bounds at the 7, so they change field position. A 45-yard punt, a beauty by Dixon.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Grey Goose Vodka, Vive Le Martini, and by USAA Insurance, committed to the military community.
Packers overjoyed about being back at home, coming off 4 of their last 5 games on the road. And this point forward, they'll have only 1 road game until the Sunday before Christmas. One of only 2 undefeated teams at home this season. Just Green Bay and Tampa Bay. The Bucs losing today at Washington. Here's a handoff to Jones. Runs into his own player. Ran into Lazard. And he gets knocked down at the 10. Tony, let's get your report now with the Packers possessing.
Well, the biggest thing, Aaron, with this new system, they're so hard to beat, especially when he's in rhythm. When he gets through the progression so quickly and gets it out, they're so hard to go against. And the Seahawks defense, right? I touched on it earlier. But them on defense, Jim, they're not great in yards. They're 31st. But defensive scoring, 9th. Red zone defense, 5th. 3rd down defense, 6th. So they'll give up yards, let you drive the field. But they stop you, especially in key situational football. And that's a sign, I think, of a good defense.
2nd and 7. And Rodgers going long, and it's over everybody's head, trying to get another big one with Valdez-Scantling. You know, we're talking to Pete Carroll about that defense, Tony, and he said that he's excited about its improvement as the season's gone on.
And here's part of it, right? The old Seattle one-on-one outside, but oh, that's not great. How do we help these corners? They've gone to these shell looks. See these safeties? They're helping out the corners a lot more than they ever used to, and they're doing it a ton, and they're starting to get to know their assignments. And you see Ken Norton Jr. And so you watch, it's not great, but all of a sudden you turn the tape on, it's like they're not giving up a lot of points.
Yep.
Get off the field on third down.
In the end, that's the main thing, right? From the goal line, Rodgers has a man open near midfield, and it's broken up. 2 Seattle defenders making life miserable for Lazard, including Diggs.
Oh, this is a great job coming all the way back across the field because he's wide open, Lazard. But you see the effort coming in. 26, Ryan Neal, just effort, and Diggs coming on the other side. But that's the safety stuff. They play deeper now, so it's hard to get behind them. But it's like, oh, we just keep giving up yards. But I think this team, if they can win today, Seattle, watch out. They're improving.
Bajorquez had a beautiful punt the last time. This one he doesn't nail it. In fact, it only flies to the 50, and fair caught, which he regrets now. Swain. But Seattle set up in excellent position near midfield. Tonight, you are invited to the concert of a lifetime with Adele, including an exclusive interview with Oprah. That's Adele, one night only, tonight on CBS.
Wow, that's a huge get for CBS right there. That's unbelievable. You got Oprah, Adele, you got music. She's playing some of her new songs that's coming out.
Can't wait. What a voice.
It's beautiful.
Collins running back. Seattle last in the league in time of possession. See if they can do something with the football this time. Tripped up, no gain. Let's get to next gen stats powered by AWS.
Well, Russell Wilson's back. We said it. They're going to take shots down the field. This exact play they ran earlier when you got the holding penalty. And since 2016, they've been top 6 in both deep passes and outside the numbers. And he throws it so high that it gives the receiver so much time to find it and go get under it. And the defensive back never gets to see it.
Here's a 2nd and 10, Tony. Oh, the hands. Right off the hands of Metcalf. A little behind him. Timing just off.
And that's exactly where Russell just is going to develop is this game and each game, right? It's just behind him, and normally he doesn't do that. But when you come off after a layoff, you know, the game is just a touch faster. And he knows it was his bad, so it's on me. It's all good quarterbacks should do.
We saw Rashawn Gary banged up early in this game. He's back out there on the field for the Packer defense. 3rd and 10. Everett slips through a tackle, but not going to be able to get within any closer than 4 yards of the first.
And this is interesting because we already saw a 4th and less than 1 by Seattle. They punted, and then Green Bay in a similar situation, 4th and 2, punted. You can see both coaches going into this game playing it a little closer to the vest than normal.
It's going to be the 5th punt of this first quarter. We've had 5 total first downs, and now the 5th punt on the way for Michael Dixon. The up back is Homer. No trickery here as Dixon end over end. It's another one inside the 10. Fair caught by Amari Rodgers. Punt fest here in Packerland. Back in 30 after this from Progressive Insurance.
Progressive presents At Home with Baker Mayfield.
Really appreciate you stepping into house sit. Everything should be pretty straightforward. Here's the keys. Let me show you inside. So each heater's on its own power grid, so you're just gonna have to throw the breakers each night. Tuesday's trash day. Just pull the dumpsters out the night before. Do you like dogs?
There are dogs?
There's a whole section of them. If you're gonna leave, remember to set the alarm. The code is 6.
Just 6?
Back with the Packers starting this drive at the 9 after the previous one at the 7. It's Adams. And again, they crash in on him quickly, including Diggs. And a pickup of 6.
It's a bubble outside. You see the speed, and Diggs, he's been playing well. Opportunistic, 3 interceptions this year, but his, fly around the field, him and Adams, it's pretty impressive and sight to see because it leaps off the tape with their aggressiveness. Some of the stuff they do.
It's quite a tandem. And as Pete Carroll says, these two guys are giving us what we're looking for. Diggs and Adams protecting the back end. Scoreless after the first at Lambeau Field. Well, that would surprise you if you sat down and looked at it, that the Packers have been held scoreless in 7 first-quarter games this year.
Wow.
You'd expect that. And they have their first scoreless game that they're participating in since 2018 after 1 quarter. There is Dillon. Boy, Tony's a second-year back out of Boston College, and he's been running with more authority. If you listen to Matt LaFleur, he had high praise for him. He said these last 2 weeks he's been a different back.
Yeah, and it's one of those where we watch him, and each time he gets it, we're like, oh, you know, that eye test sometimes, and you're like, I like this guy. He shows he's got some juice, and he gets up there and puts his head down and finishes through the hole, and that's a great, you know, it's a great have if you have another back that can come in and you don't feel like you lose a whole bunch.
And Aaron Jones, the other part of that, of course, is that was Jamal Adams putting pressure on Aaron Rodgers.
Well, this is where I want to take, right? Adams was unbelievable at blitzing last year. You see him up here. He hides it well, so he's back, he's soft. As soon as Aaron goes, now he sprints from 5 yards away, and he kind of gets you because he comes from depth. He stands on the line of scrimmage, but he got off to a great start sacking the quarterback. Then teams started to turn the protection to him, and they started to move into that world where it's like, hey, he's like a linebacker almost. So now they use it against teams sometimes. They'll put him down there and then blitz from the other side.
He had 9.5 sacks last year that led Seattle. None so far this year. Dillon gets the little dump off pass. He's got a first down. So he's able to ride Brooks with him for a good part of that, and he picks up 12.
Well-timed. Packers outstanding in the screen game. And you see a lot of it is the timing between the offensive linemen, the running back. You know, every once in a while, if you don't practice it a bunch, you know, the running back's a little too far forward, and now he's not in position to use the lineman, but Packers do it well.
75 yards, 41 of it on the long throw in the first quarter to Valdez-Scantling, but this time it's Dillon with another handle, and he's got a gain of 4. Yeah, when you got this 1-2 punch you alluded to, and you got Dillon and you got Jones, and Jones got the big contract, and it's just a little bit of that quandary. How do you delegate this? Mike Tomlin calls it the division of labor. How do you do it?
Well, you keep getting first downs, and so everyone gets more touches. You score some points, and you win, and it takes care of everything. But a lot of it's your coaching staff. It's how you talk to the team before the season starts, and what's important to each person. Individual stuff or team.
Here's Cobb, able to turn it on a notch and pick up another first down. Picks up 6.
And you could see a point of emphasis, right? To throw these bubble routes, these flat routes where they're blocking. Randall Cobb, back in his 11th season. Might as well just call him Aaron's guy, right? I want my buddy back. He's good. Okay, you can have him.
Yep, he made a big public pursuit of Cobb, and he got him. And last time we were here for the Pittsburgh game, week 4, he had a couple of touchdowns to Randall Cobb. Aaron Jones returns to the backfield. Play action fake to him. Little sidearm sling, and it's Adams. Oh, he went right through 4 defenders before they finally tackled him down. Picks up 34 yards.
And these are some of the plays that are really tough to cover. You see Adams is just so good on the route running, but I think they just figured out a little bit how to attack this defense. Watch, he's going to go up and break in. If you put 2 guys inside, these safeties can be as deep as you want, but one's going to run one of them out of there, and then Adams is going to come through behind him. You're going to see more concepts like that going forward the rest of this game.
To the 21. And that's knocked down as they're looking to get it back into the hands of their playmaker. Amadi was the one that ended that play.
Well, you see Amadi. So what side of the field is Jamal Adams on, Jim? He's right here. So you're going to see, though, I'm going to blitz you from over here because you're going to go ahead and think, hey, Adams is over there. Let's make sure we block him. And they do. They get a lineman over there. But I think they're doing a great job as a coaching staff of using Adams against the other team and getting other people free.
Here's a 2nd and 10. Comes the other side with it. And Mercedes Lewis this time has a couple of hats on him, brings him down after a short gain, including Jamal Adams, the first to touch the tight end.
Man, this is a staple of Seattle. It's a good play call, and it should have probably gotten more. But if you get a guy who can tackle and wrap up and get a guy down, it saves you those 4 yards, and now it's a 3rd and 7 instead of 3rd and 3. Good tackling, and his team prides itself on that.
And Green Bay has failed on its last 3rd down attempts. We've got a 3rd and 7. He's going to run for it. He's going to get there. First down, Green Bay near the 10.
Oh, a huge hit as Aaron runs out. He makes a good decision because it's a great defense, and this was the type of one where sometimes you have to run around. As you come in the side of your screen, you see Neal get blown up 26 by Lazard as long as he got in front of him.
You know, some hit. Lazard leveling Neal.
It's close.
Ball spotted right at the 10, so it's 1st and goal. Now the whistle. A timeout called by Seattle. Look at his numbers in his last 16 at home in the red zone. 28 touches, 1 pick, and we're back in 30 after this.
America! After the past year-ish, everyone deserves something new. So, AT&T is giving everyone our best deals on every iPhone, including the iPhone 13 Pro with its amazing camera. Like everyone that worked from home or welcomed a new family member.
They were all underdogs.
Our deals are for everyone.
It's not complicated. AT&T is giving new and existing customers our best deals on every iPhone, including up to $800 off the Epic iPhone 13 and iPhone 13 Pro.
Pete Carroll and a lot of the Seahawks, Tony, just incredulous about that hit. Lazard on Neal. But no flag, and coming out of a Seattle timeout. Right at the back end of this play.
Well, they've done a great job of protecting from these blind side blocks. It's almost like an interception when it goes the other way. The penalties. And we'll bring Gene in after this, Jim, and ask him.
Here's Dillon. Slips. Picks up 1. And Gene, what did you see there?
For a blindside block to be a foul, the offense must be blocking back to their goal line, which this player is doing. But he has to make forcible contact to the head and neck area, and you can see him lower his target area to hit the defender in the shoulder as opposed to the head and neck. So by rule, it's a legal play because of the contact that he makes and where he makes.
Ooh. Gene, great stuff. That's a little more complex inside detail of that rule, and he's all over it. 2nd and goal in the 12th play of this drive.
It used to be as simple as like can't block in the back, right? So you had to be in front.
Got different parts to it. Pass batted in the air, incomplete. And that was Ford who disrupted the pass.
Aaron got lucky here because they dropped 90. Monet out. And you see 90 might have intercepted that right behind.
Boone Ford, it hit him right in the helmet.
Yeah, and hits him, but behind him was the defensive tackle. He didn't see that was coming to hit Adams again, who I don't think would have appreciated another shot.
Here's the 3rd and goal, 9 yards out. Adams at the top. Rodgers looking Adams' way, hoping he finds an opening, and it's not there as he goes to Cobb instead. Broken up by Reed.
Now this is a big point we talked about. Seattle just gave up how many yards on that drive, Jim? Like 80, 90, and at the end of it, they hold them to 3 points and play outstanding defense all the way through the ball because no one was covered all the way until the end there. Aaron could have thrown that a little further, Reed.
That's what you talked about, the bend don't break, and it's 82 yards is what the answer is. They go from inside their own 10, inside the other 10, and they now have the field goal try. That's been an adventure recently, but Crosby good from 27.
Well, if you're Seattle, you're happy. Green Bay's getting in rhythm. Left one out and the field goal earlier, but we got a game in Lambeau.
Here's Russell Wilson, 3 of 5 for 12 yards. That's it so far. Coming up, the Verizon halftime report. JB and all the crew. The latest scores and highlights, the recap of the 1 o'clock games blowout wins today by New England over Cleveland. Dallas demolished Atlanta, but then some really interesting results. Washington over Tampa Bay. Our first tie of the year. Detroit and Pittsburgh, and Tennessee goes to 8-2, holding off the Saints. And a score of 23-21. 3 punts, 3 possessions so far for the Seahawks. We'll wait the kick now.
I think one of the interesting points, you know, just what's happened over the last couple weeks, right? Some of these teams that are at the bottom have beaten some of the top teams. It was strange, right? Last week, you see a little bit of it.
Craziest 2 weeks I've ever seen. Here's Dallas with the return. I want to hear your take on that a little bit about what you think of all these crazy scores.
Yeah, a lot of it is systems, right? And we talk about the Seattle system has come from Sean McVay's system. And you see the misdirection there. And that is what you see more they're doing now. They're being up on the ball fast. They play from tight, condensed formations. So like a receiver who's just outside of the tackle or tight end can come around like a jet sweep or a reverse, and then you just hand it off. And it's given them a little more room. And I believe that is helping them in some of these early down. Now, what you got to do with Russell, though, he still has some special qualities. You still got to spread him out, let him see the field, and use his athleticism. It's just taking him a little bit to come back right now. He's a little rusty.
Yeah, it's not surprising. Here he fakes into the line and dumps it across the middle for the tight end, Disley. He finally slips at the 45, so a big gain, biggest of the day so far for the Seahawks. It goes for 29.
Watch 89. This is sneaky. Talk about the misdirection. I'm going over here, and then I'm coming all the way back under. They deceive you a little bit around here with some of their play calling and some of the stuff, but you can tell they don't have the right shoes on, all these guys.
And didn't Pete Carroll talk to us about this? The field, you never know exactly what kind of footing you're going to get, what kind of shoes you should wear. It's been part of the reason why they've lost the last 4 times in here.
It's real. You've already seen it. And I mean, if you just didn't get 1 3rd down later in the game because of it, it's a difference in a game against 2 great quarterbacks a lot of the time.
There's a handoff to Collins, and he's near the 40. Here we are, a 1/4 into this game, Tony, and not a single catch by Metcalf or Lockett.
Yeah, and I mean, they went 3 plays in the first one. Part of it is Lockett got down the field and got the holding penalty. But I agree with you. They need to get, they've been terrible on 3rd down. I think they need to make a point of emphasis of getting those 2 the ball on 3rd down. I don't care about what cool plays you got. They put these guys out there and say, we're throwing him the ball or him. Line them up next to each other, because you're not going to double them both right next to each other.
2nd and 5. And that's thrown in the direction of Metcalf. Now it'll be 3rd and 5. And you mentioned 3rd down, such a crucial thing. As you take a look at the pass distribution for the Seahawks so far in this game. 4 receptions by their tight ends. We talked to Pete about it, and you said, hey, the second half of the season, what would you like to see the team step up with? And he said, we've got to get better on 3rd down.
And I think the way to do it is throw the ball to Lockett or Metcalf.
No chance to this time as Gary returns to the field and has a sack of Russell Wilson. A loss of 7. And after a promising start to the drive with the long pass play with Disley, it ends rather quickly near midfield.
And watch right here. You're going to see him go right back up, Metcalf. And if he'd have had a second, I think he might have scored right there on a little stick that goes up the field. But I think that's Russell, just the game just taking a little bit. He'd be more calm in certain situations, right?
There's Dixon punting it to the 13. Rodgers caught it on the run, had a player right on him. That's Hart, Penny Hart. But it's going to be Green Bay possession at about the 17. You were talking about Metcalf being open. Here's what you meant.
Yeah, that's how you can get 1st downs.
And touchdowns.
Yeah.
Let's take a look at the game snapshot presented by Progressive Insurance. Crosby missed field goal on the Packers opening series. Then Aaron Rodgers drove him down the field 82 yards. set up a short field goal, this time good by Crosby. That's it. It's 3-0 with 7 minutes to go in the second quarter. And there's their first 4 possessions.
Do you remember, wasn't there a time period, was it Crosby, when they had that like rough patch with him kicking a couple years back?
It's true, and then he came back and he had like a year and a half stretch where he didn't miss.
Did they lose? Was there a big kick in a playoff game? Something, I can't remember.
You're on to something.
But I just don't want, as a Packer, it's like you don't want to have to go back through. You know, when was it a few years back when he had that stretch? And I remember it cost them at different times. Like,
well, last year he was 16 for 16.
I mean, he's really good, right? But it's just like that's happened once, and you see signs of like, oh, he's just, you know, he's so good. You trust him explicitly, and you just hope he's not in a little bit of a funk right now.
2nd and 6, quickly to Adams. He's trying to be able to get into a sprint, but Diggs tripped him up by the ankle. But still, Adams having a big first half. That's his 5th catch for 66 yards.
Yes, and what happens is Seattle plays a little old school sometimes. If they want you, you look at this, that's a linebacker, linebacker, linebacker. That's a 4-3. Well, when you want to put linebackers on the field, you're saying 3 of them, we want to stop the run. So the Packers are trying to get you to do that, and then they want to throw it. And then when you take them off, we want to run it, as you'll probably see right here.
Get to Jones. Now, toss it to him, and he is unable to hold on to it.
And that's a run, right? It's a screen, but it's perfect. All of a sudden, hey, you want to put the little people in? We're going to do something with the running back. Well played call. Bad catch. But this would have been a big play right here, Jim.
Oh, yeah. Look at the 2 guys out there with him, too. You had Patrick and Newman both ready to throw some downfield blocks. It's a 2nd and 10. Round this time. And Jones has 1, maybe 2.
And there's the game within the game. We just said 2 linebackers in instead of 3. When he taps his helmet, he's like, yep, we're going to run this. Aaron almost got him with the offside. He does that so well, doesn't he? Get up and snap it while you're running people off.
Keeps him off guard, that's for sure.
There is no charge timeout on the field. Please reset the game clock to 5:18. 5:18, it will start on my signal.
We got a 3rd and 8 coming up here, Tony, and they're only 2 of 6 so far on 3rd down. Salute to Service is the NFL's year-round effort to honor, empower, and connect our nation's service members, veterans, and their families. And you can learn about the NFL's work with its long-standing military and veteran nonprofit partners by visiting NFL.com/salute.
2 for 6, and that's what we said. That's Seattle, why I think they're actually dangerous, Jim. They get off the field on 3rd down.
And they do it again, 3rd and 8. Pass in the area. We got a penalty flag down that was thrown to DeGuara.
Yeah, there's a penalty before that on 28 for the Seahawks. This is going to be probably on Umadi.
Prior to the pass, holding, defense number 28, 5-yard penalty, automatic first down.
As I'm watching down the field, you can just see right in the middle of it, all by himself. Cobb's going to go up. And right here, he tried to get away, and he couldn't.
How much of that do you see if you got 4 or 5 targets down the field? How much do you see of a penalty like that before you release it, knowing maybe you got a free throw?
You're saying as Rodgers?
Yeah, as the quarterback.
Well, I think right there, it depends what the coverage is. If you're starting there, you absolutely know, and then you're going to take more time and risk something at the end of it.
Right.
You know, but if you're not starting there because the coverage dictates somewhere else, then you wouldn't know it.
Where you are in your progressions.
Correct.
1st and 10 after the first penalty on the Seahawks. A little sidearm flick, and Cobb has a gain of 8.
This is literally playing out almost exactly how the Seahawks want to play the game. They protect their corners by not leaving them one-on-one. The one time they did it, they gave up the big play down the left sideline. But they make you drive the field, and then they tried to get off like on the last 3rd down, or they stop in the red zone, and the games are close, and at the end they say, Russell, here you go. Go win us the game.
Go do what you do.
Pretty good formula.
It's worked. On mishandle on the snap. Rodgers thought he was going to be able to get to it on time, but there's a Seattle defender. Instead, Rodgers, in 8 games played this year, had not fumbled once. But the signal is they're saying it's going to be 3rd down. Recovery belongs to the Packers.
Well, I think Collier, you saw 91, watch him move down. Right there, it gets a rhythm of Aaron just sped up. Just enough to make you pull out maybe.
Tie goes to the quarterback?
Tie goes to the quarterback.
Coming out of the pile, Darrell Taylor came out with it, but they say it's Green Bay 3rd down from the 48.
Aaron, as you see, he's trying to get, he's like, I'm hurt. No, you're not. Get up. Okay. How did Aaron wrestle that away from the 300-pounders?
It's got a challenge flag. It was just looking down at Pete Carroll. He couldn't find the challenge flag. Frantically trying to get it out of the pocket in time.
Too many
clothes
on.
Yeah.
He threw a phone out there, maybe a tablet, a Microsoft tablet. He threw it right out there.
A hand warmer.
Okay, there. No, that's my keys. That's his phone.
Cell phone.
I told you. There it is. What are you talking about? Hold on, my wife's calling. I gotta get to this real quick.
Oh man.
Call you back, babe.
Seattle is challenging the ruling on the field of recovery by the offense. Timeout.
Ooh. Who came up with the ball, Jim? Didn't Taylor actually come up with it?
Taylor came out of the pile with it. And it's been challenged by the Seahawks. Brad Allen's already announced that the ruling on the field stands. It belongs to Green Bay, and Gene Steratore quickly just cleaned this up.
Yeah, fumble like this, whenever there's simultaneous recovery like that, it goes to the offense. We see Taylor and Rodgers with the ball. That's simultaneous, stays with the offense, guys.
All right, thanks, Gene. Here's a 3rd and 4. And they get it with everybody rushing in on Rodgers. He unloaded it quickly, Tony, and Aaron Jones picks up the 1st down. Gain of 8.
This is just a ball in the flat. But this is what makes Aaron Rodgers so special. This is such a difficult throw. You have 56 blaring down on you, and you right there throw it past Brooks's head, and watch, this is going to be a great shot. Boom! Your hand's going to hit it. Just coming right down on you, bearing down on you.
Well, for Jones,
bearing down on you,
bearing down. That's pretty much just
blaring
too.
Music down on you.
And Jones picks up another 2. That 8-yard catch for him was his longest play of the game so far. And now we approach the 2-minute warning. And they're going to let it run down.
Yeah, as they should. They got 3 timeouts. Time is of no importance right now. Green Bay doesn't change any. The only reason time matters is when you have to change a play call or you base something on it. And right now, it doesn't have any effect.
Seattle with only 56 yards of offense in this game. Green Bay, 2 minutes to go and a half on the Seattle side of the field. Well, they're all poised to take you through all of the highlights and first half action in the late games, recaps of the 1 o'clock games. JB and all the crew. The Verizon halftime report coming up shortly. We've got 2 minutes to go in the first half here. 3-0. That's it. Packers on a Crosby field goal from 27 yards.
Well, I didn't know my dad was here today, but it's good to see you, Pops.
Oh, Romero. He didn't really mean it. 2nd and 8. Pass caught for Lazard. Pickup that's about a yard or 2 short of the first. His first catch today.
The Packers are close. You know, they're breaking a few of these open. They had the holding penalty when they went in for the first touchdown, ended up missing the field goal, but then I believe it was it Lazard down the middle of the field that got broken up at the very end?
Mm-hmm.
That was another huge play.
Here's Russell. Again, they're last in time of possession, and that's playing out here again today. Feels like we haven't seen him in ages. 3rd and 2. Packers not able to get anything out of the run by Dillon. That's the second time Dillon in this game has been stopped on 3rd and short.
Well, Woods, 99, does a great job pushing back in the middle and giving the running back nowhere to go.
Coach LaFleur is keeping his offense out there on the field.
Yeah, I think you have to here. 4th and 2. I would definitely let it run down as well in case you don't get it. You don't give them another play or two if Seattle gets it.
So Al Woods, he can take up some space in the middle of that defense.
You got to watch a natural pick. Someone going right offside.
And timeout called. Just trying to draw him off.
They almost got him.
So these two quarterbacks return today, Tony, and what have you seen so far?
Well, I've seen what I thought with Russell. It just takes a little bit of time to come back after a layoff like that, especially with a finger that you're still trying to play in a real game and figure out. But these guys are so good.
Hall of Fame numbers, as you saw, the win percentages are like separated by fractions. You got to go carry it to the hundredths by percentage. And here's what you've seen so far today.
Yeah. And Aaron's, there's no rust or anything. I mean, he just had a bye week, basically, right? It was more about, is his body going to feel the same? And looks that way. And he talked about it. He's feeling good. So just playing out. And they just needed a catch or two on a 3rd down. And not a missed field goal, but they've been moving the ball.
Here they go in 4th and 2. No, it's broken up as Lazard got hammered by Trey Brown. What a stick by Brown to get the football back to Seattle. That's a huge hit that takes away what could have been a scoring drive for the Packers right before the half.
You were right. 4th round pick. This is a microcosm of their defense. He plays back, even though it's a shorter distance, and they rally and tackle moving downhill. That's why they could fly to the ball and hit you. That's why they get into those situations, and they get off the field, Jim. Dangerous team if this offense gets going and Russell gets fully healthy.
And don't forget, Seattle deferred at the top, so maybe they can do a little business here with a minute to go in the first half, then come out of the locker room and have the football again to start the 3rd.
And here's where Russell's been at his best over the years. Get an empty, have 4 rushers, right? There's 6 lanes that he can run in, and you have a couple of really great receivers on the outside you could throw to.
There's the first catch by a wideout. It's Metcalf looking for the sideline after picking up only 2.
Well, when I talk about watch these lanes.
2nd and 9. Rushing after him. He slides away, tucks it under, gets hit and pushed out. Henry Black was the last to hit him, knock him out with 50 seconds to go.
And this is where I talk about, right? They have 4 rushers, 1 lane, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different gaps, and they only have 4 guys. So when you rush Russell Wilson, he finds one of those gaps a lot, but he does it better than anyone when you spread him out. If you get a lot of guys in there on offense, those gaps get much tougher to find. And now he could see those easy and use his legs, and I think you'll see them go to that quite a bit here down the stretch.
They've got a 3rd down here, Tony. 3rd and 5.
That's what you do to not let them. You put 2 guys in there up front.
Will drop back, jump pass caught for the 1st down by Everett at the 49. Seattle with 1 timeout.
That was a big time throw under pressure.
Pick up with 9. Just their 2nd first down of the quarter. 8 for the Packers. Everett.
That's a poor decision. He should have ran out of bounds there. You got to take a timeout for Seattle here.
And there it is. They call the timeout. Tony had every chance in the world to get out of bounds.
Right when he caught it, he should have just kept going and fighting. You got to hammer home to your team over and over again these situations, and you tell each player every time it comes up, you stop practice if you have to in the 2 minutes. You say, what's more important? 3 yards, even if you did a great job, made that guy miss and got 7, 8. or getting out of bounds and saving us a timeout or 30 or 20 seconds. But it's amazing how they want to fight for every yard, because that's what you do on every other down.
Yeah, that's right. You got to change your mindset when you know you're in hurry up, fighting the clock. Everett, who has 4 of Wilson's 7 completions, forcing them to take their last time out with 19 seconds to go.
It's interesting to see. You could throw this ball inbounds, Jim, and still clock it. You can't run around and then throw it inbounds, but you can get something off in a normal mode. And, you know, they probably got to get close to the 33 or 4, right? 36 is going to be really close. I know you normally can, but it's cold.
Here's Wilson going sideline. Oh, and that pass is ruled a catch by Metcalf. That got him in field goal range.
No way. Now it's really close. So you're going to have to go out of bounds here or throw it right away inbounds. And you have to throw a quick slant and then run to the ball, and you go down. You don't try and run for the end zone and get tackled. He's got to throw it right now or out of bounds.
Going for the big ball. Going deep. And no flag.
It's a great decision by Russell Wilson. You know right there, you're in a position where you could kick a field goal. They're not playing touchdown defense, right? They're not playing their Hail Mary defense. So you got a chance to go one-on-one. The clock will stop. It's a touchdown or nothing.
Trying to connect with Lockett. There's LaFleur was trying to call a timeout, didn't get it.
That was a half effort, though, Jim. Okay. He's like, wait, it's about to be snapped. I want to pretend like I did, but I'm not really sure I wanted it.
Lockett, who had 12 catches in their most recent game, coming off the bye 2 weeks ago against Jacksonville, 12 catches. In this game, none. We went after him deep that time. Now 8 seconds to go. Lofts it, and that's going to be out of bounds, out of reach. And now you got to go ahead and bring out Myers with, well, is there a flag?
There is a flag in the backfield. And you saw Russell, very good job being prepared by the Packers.
Oh boy, that takes the field goal option away.
Pete is
holding. Offense number 68. 10-yard penalty. Still second down.
This is going to be, I mean, looked like he got bull rushed to me when the play was run, but let's see, 68 the left guard. Oh yeah, he does get bull rushed. I don't think he held him. I think he just got dominated.
One chance.
How can you hold going down? That's a bad call.
For a Hail Mary. Of course, this series, everybody remembers the Fail Mary in Seattle. Aaron Rodgers mentioned it to us yesterday when we were trying to say it's been tough for the visiting team to win. Well, there's an asterisk there, he pointed out. Don't forget about what happened in Seattle with the backup officials.
Well, who won?
Seattle won when they gave Golden Tate the catch in the end zone.
So they gave Seattle a win.
And remember, that was in Seattle won, but Green Bay again thought it had a win on the road. Because the last eight, this is what we're talking about. You remember the play?
I do remember it. It was unbelievable. And you know, we talked about tie goes to the runner earlier, right? Didn't we say that earlier?
But remember, these were the replacement officials, and they ruled it a catch and a win for Seattle.
Really, Green Bay caught that ball. The other guy just put his hands in.
Yeah, Aaron made a big point about the asterisk when he talked about the last 4 Green Bay wins at home, the last 4 Seattle wins at home. He said, hold on a minute. So let's see if they can heave one from 45 yards out.
This is a spy on Russell, or he takes the back, but you can't let Russell roll out and to the right. He's got to keep him contained. Don't let him get out over there.
Can run into it so he can get it all the way there, and it's incomplete.
It's amazing when Russell Wilson's back there, you can't even get close to him for a Hail Mary because you're so scared of him moving completely outside. And what a defensive first half.
Yeah, got the lowest scoring first half in the NFL this year.
And the highest communicative level of speech by analyst play-by-play of the year as well. It's going to be a big second half.
Yeah, Seattle will receive that second half kickoff, Tony. 3-0 Green Bay at the intermission. Halftime is next after these first half highlights from Verizon and a word from your local station. Well, it's turned into a defensive tussle here in Tinseltown. Here's the first half highlight presented by State Farm. Yeah, we got to have some defensive plays when you're talking about the highlights from the first half, including that breakup by Trey Brown on a 4th down throw inside the last 2 minutes.
Been a couple of those.
Yeah,
breakups.
Really well done by the defenses, by Ken Norton's defense and Coach Barry's defense for the Packers. But yeah, these two quarterbacks so much made about their return, Tony. And you pointed out a few times, it's going to be a lot harder to return when you're Russell Wilson than for what it was going to be for Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, and there's many factors to it, but Russell's still figuring out. I mean, he's not 100%. This is the thing. He's going to improve each day and each week because, I mean, he came back so fast. It's just, that's part of it as well. But let's hear from Trace. What do you think, Jim?
Yeah, Trace?
Well, you're exactly right, and I asked that question to Pete Carroll. I said, how much is this about Russell Wilson getting back that offensive timing and rhythm? But he said, you know what it's about? It's about pass protection. He said we need to protect him better. He is getting hit too hard and too much. As for Matt LaFleur, obviously not pleased with his offense either. He said 3rd down, red zone, it's been our Achilles heel. He said we need to run the ball better, especially if they're going to play that soft 2-shell coverage. They need to run the ball.
Here's the first play, Hank and Trace, of the second half, and it's Everett with the 5th catch. Remember, this Green Bay defense last week really did a number on Pat Mahomes. Patrick and Kansas City were really shut down like you've never seen.
Well, these guys are doing a great job in passing situations and just teeing off, and they are. I mean, that's against Brown, who's probably their top offensive lineman. And this has been a little bit of an issue right now. That's why they're not great on 3rd down, because when teams know they're passing, they're able to get to the quarterback, but they do have to block better. And part of that, Jim, is running it better on 1st down.
Now here you go on 2nd down, a run that picks up the first by Alex Collins. As you take a look at the first half numbers, 86 total yards in that first half for Seattle. And again, the Green Bay defense of Joe Barry, as Matt LaFleur said, the defense against the Chiefs, that was a championship level effort in their 13-7 loss at Arrowhead. They held KC to 237 total yards, and they forced 6 3-and-outs.
And I don't think people recognize how good this defense is playing. I mean, everyone knows about Aaron Rodgers.
As it goes to Lockett, still trying to get him in the catch column. None so far.
That's just the rust aspect. We're talking about it for Russell Wilson. But Joe Barry's done an incredible job. And this team is winning some of these games with their defense. When we talk about it, look at some of these numbers, right? Rushing 16th. When you talk about passing, you talk about red zone, I mean, stuff that we talk about on the other side that matters. This defense, Jim, is awesome against the pass, total yards, scoring 6th. The one thing you do have to get better at, they're actually red zone defense. It's not as good, and I think that's where Seattle keeps them in games, and this team can get hurt by it.
Collins running on 2nd and 10 for only a yard, but you're talking about Green Bay's red zone defense. That hasn't even been an issue today because Seattle's never gotten any deeper than the Green Bay 35.
It's true, and you know, the big thing is these are two completely different plans of defense. One, Green Bay's actually comes, Joe Barry has morphed himself, right? He comes, father-in-law Rod Marinelli, I mean, he's got so much knowledge in there. And what he's done is he brought a new system here that allows their guys to have a little more shell coverage. The safeties are deeper, they're not around it as much. They come in later, and then you make them throw to the middle of the field.
3rd and 9. All kinds of time. And there's a man down there with a step. And it's broken up at the last moment. What a recovery, as Swain looked like he might have a little separation, but Darnell Savage closed in at the last moment and had a breakup.
And it's a great job because Savage actually, as we're talking about the safeties being deep, if he wasn't deep there, that's a touchdown, and Russell was going to throw it deep. He did there, and usually that turns into a completion. When you have that much time in the pocket, you throw it deep.
Dixon has to punt now. And Rodgers steps out at the 14. That's the 5th punt of the game for Dixon. Aaron Rodgers popping back out after 14 of 23 in that first half for $1.60.
It's a great time to get Domino's, because right now, if you order online and carry out with Domino's Carside Delivery between 4 to 9, you'll get 49% off all menu price pizzas. See what we did there? With the 4 and the 9?
Kinda funny.
Get 49% off all menu price pizzas for a limited time only.
We got some flurries flying around here in Green Bay after snow overnight. Amounted to estimates of about 4 inches. You should have seen this guy before the game. Just had the divots on his shoulders and everything else was looking pretty normal. 4 times Dixon's punted and left the Packers inside the 20 to start. There's Jones trying to get a burst of speed. He's got a gain of about 6 as we take a look at next gen stats powered by AWS.
Well, this dynamic duo is tough to stop, and Davante Adams, I'm really impressed the way we could talk over and over again how special he is, because he's as good as, I think he's the best receiver in the game right now. Releases, routes, hands, yards after catch, they're also impressive. But this offensive system also helps because they move him around so much. As you saw there, he plays inside, outside. They motion him. They put him down in the slot. They put him outside. They make him run outside routes. If he comes down, you throw it to him right here to the left. If you don't,
they go down the field and almost caught that time by Lazard.
Wow, that was a perfect throw. And this is a deep over. All go special. He's coming across the field, and Brooks runs with him. I mean, that is a perfectly thrown ball that should have been caught.
The only place he could actually try to get it to Lazard for a catch.
And that's a great play design because Adams over there, you see the safety came down, but what happened is Adams ended up coming down and then going to double team on Davante Adams. Jamal Adams went and double teamed him, and that opened that side of the field up for Lazard.
Adams down at the bottom on 3rd and 5. Now Rodgers has been sacked twice, trying to avoid one. Got a flag in the offensive backfield after Rodgers scrambled what would have been a first down.
Holding. Offense, number 62. Half the distance to the goal. 3rd down.
Well, you see Patrick with a hold, 62. The center right there. It's when he goes to break the pocket here. It's not there, it's right there. I'm not sure 99 was fast enough to get Rodgers Woods, but they call that every time. And here's why the play happened, though, is no one was open. And you see they run all these routes, and Aaron went through everybody on that play, and no one was open. And that's a testament to this defense in key situations.
And they've got a key one here. Otherwise, going to be a short field likely coming up for Seattle. 3rd and 14. Oh, look at that. It looked like he was going to throw it all the way to midfield at the last moment. He changed his mind and lofted it over to Jones, who caught it while he was falling down for 4. Just a last-second audible with the arm.
Well, I think it was because he couldn't tell, but watch this. These guys are all going to run up here, and he's going to ready to go and heave this. But you're going to find the backside safety comes all the way over, and he goes, oh, boy, that was going to be an interception. You were right. He lined up to launch it.
It's amazing how he did that. The Horkaz boots it to about the 37. Fair caught by Swain. All right, Russell Wilson and the Seahawks offense trying to get things cranking when we come back. And now a salute to service moment presented by USAA. Last week, Green Bay Packers alumni Jared Abbrederis, Gary Ellerson, Bill Ferrario visited with veterans and frontline workers at the William S. Middleton Memorial Veterans Hospital, posing for pictures, distributing gifts, saying thank you, and doing good deeds inside the community. This great community. Aloha from Alaska. Okay. Feeling right at home.
I think this is about the time of the game where Russell starts to feel like, okay, I'm getting that feeling back where I can trust my instincts and get out of sacks.
Look at him break away and complete for the first time today a hookup with Tyler Lockett. I think what you're saying is he's not feeling it. You're feeling that he's about to break out.
Yes, and he's about to trust some of the instincts and feels he's always had. Like right here, right? Early in the game, it's like he kind of went down a time or two because he had people all around him where he's like, wait, I start to remember all these same things. I can move around. I can get out of these stuff. And I think you're seeing him start to get that sense and that sixth sense back.
And you're seeing Whitney merciless down on the field. He was trying to sack Russell, and he nearly got to him. The former Houston Texan. They wanted to bring over here and give them everything that he used to bring to that Texans defense, getting to the quarterback. Former first-round pick into the league.
He had the big sack earlier. He talked about on Brown, which isn't easy to do. Burp. And here's all the routes in the last play. See the design of everything, and really, someone's going to come open. They just didn't have time, and that's where Russell comes in, and that's right now what's happening to this team. They just too many negative plays because the offensive line just isn't playing up to a standard that allows them to be consistent drive in, drive out.
It's a 2nd and 3. The time to throw, and another connection with a wide receiver.
And a good one.
Metcalf.
His ability, his ceiling in this league, it's crazy how he's already there. But them just getting the time, right? He had time here, and like we talked about, this is the point in the game when you have that layoff. You know, I felt before, Jim, where it's like you start to be like, I'm back. And you're seeing Russell make a couple plays in this drive to show that.
That's a 17-yard gain. Metcalf's 3rd catch. First down over the head of Lockett. Got away from him.
He's almost back. That could be, though, if you look at his hand, does he have the little thing we saw in warm-ups on it?
Little tape around the
tape
finger.
around the finger.
Are you surprised the kind of velocity he's able to get on the football with the pin just being removed just a week ago?
You know, you see it right there. That plays a role because that's all over the ball for a long time. And if that's slippery at all, it's like a grip. It's just hard to.
There's Collins, and that's the first time the Seahawks have been inside the Green Bay 30. Update time. JB and the coach, take it away.
The inspired Panthers.
Yeah, Chuba Hubbard's going to take this from 5 yards run, and he's going to score a 2-point conversion. Good. How about this? Carolina 31, Arizona 3. By the way, Cam Newton has 1 passing touchdown and 1 rushing touchdown.
Jim Nance.
Thank you, guys, as the Panthers trying to get back to 5-5 on the season with a win over Arizona, which was handed its first loss a couple weeks ago by Green Bay. And here's Russell and company hurrying up.
Was that a 3rd down, Jim? That was 3rd and 2, wasn't it?
It was 3rd and 2.
That's what they were saying. They need that 1 or 2 extra 3rd downs to go from 30% to 45-50, which will be right up there with anyone in the league.
And here's Collins running again, with Chris Carson not quite ready to be back. They thought there was an outside chance early in the week that Carson, who is such a tough guy to bring down, he last played on October the 3rd, did Carson. Neck injury. Hope to have him back maybe as soon as next week now.
Look at that defensive stat. That's where Green Bay, when you watch, they've really started to come on. And that could carry you when the weather gets dicey.
2nd and 3, lofting it toward the end zone. And tight coverage on Hart. Douglas, who saved the game, speaking of the win down in Arizona, with an interception.
You're right. And right here, he runs with them, plasters as they call, and sticks with Hart.
And now you've got a 3rd down, 3rd and 3. Seahawks 2 for 7 today.
For Russell to run.
Gets it to Homer for the 1st down.
It's a great play design.
Travis Homer, the 3rd year back out of Miami, picks up the 1st, and this is by far their best drive of the day.
You can see the rhythm, right? Other than the overthrow, he's been on time. He's been getting through the progressions quick, and then he helps his team with a scramble.
2 set of downs. And on 1st down, looking end zone. Now throwing it, and incomplete. at the goal line, going for Swain.
Stokes right there comes flying in, makes the ball go low and away. It's a great job by Russell getting out there. Just a bit outside. Russell throws this. I'm always checking to see if he feels like, oh man, just coming off. Just a little snow right now coming down, but that can make it tacky action in the ball. Quarterbacks don't hate that as much as rain.
2nd and 10. Play clock running down. Pressure sliding, and it's dropped. Homer, who made the catch to pick up the first down a short while ago on 3rd down, this time got ahead of himself. Now it's 3rd and 10.
Campbell right here. This is a spy. We talked about those gaps. He's just going to stand there and wait for Russell to go. And when he goes, you go. And that's why Russell had to get rid of that ball. And Campbell has some speed. That's a great guy to put there. I'm really impressed with this play.
He's been way over-delivering on what they expected when they signed him in the offseason.
You're exactly right.
Huge.
Over-delivered, almost, you could think.
Yes.
He's been playing at a high level.
Got to get inside the 3 for a first. 3rd down. Pressure from the edges. Pressure. Backs up away from it. Goes in zone, and it's intercepted in the end zone. Oh, he dropped it.
Oh,
he dropped it at the last moment. Kevin King.
No, it hit him right in the chest. Did he drop it? Why is he dancing around?
Hold on.
He caught it.
Did he catch it?
I don't know. You just said it. I was looking down on the field.
Everybody's kind of looking around. That's Metcalf trying to strip it.
Oh, he called incomplete, touchback, interception, not. Oh, we'll find out when we get back.
Ruling on the field was interception. Turnovers, of course, are automatically reviewed. Brad Allen trying to explain things to Coach Carroll. Here it is.
Well, here's the call. This is a big one, but I think it's going to be an interception, and it's Green Bay's ball. I think he had enough of it, long enough. And here's the call. Up. Green Bay ball, let's play.
Just a
There's your call, everyone.
Whistle, yeah. Gene, how did you see that one? It was close, wasn't it?
Yeah, it is close, and it has to go in its sequence with control, 2 feet down, and then falling to survive the ground. They deemed that he held that ball because there wasn't a football move, and they stayed with the ruling on the field of stand. Yes.
Okay. Movement on that right side, it appeared. Not seeing a flag. As into the open goes Aaron Jones to the 43-yard line. As Green Bay picks off Russell Wilson, only the 2nd interception thrown by Wilson, missing the 3 games. 23-yard pickup here.
Perfect time. You'll see way outside as Adams coming into your screen. Look at how deep he was. When you put safeties back, that means one less guy is closer. So when they throw these screens, Jim, it's the same as running the ball, but you just do it with a quarterback who's really good and you can get more yards most of the time. Good design so far today. I don't think we give Nathaniel Hackett enough credit for this Packers offense. I think he deserves a couple looks.
Here's the gift to
head coaching for what he's done here, don't you think?
Yeah, well, just remember the year Jacksonville made it all the way to the AFC Championship game 4 or 5 years ago. He was the offensive coordinator down there then.
And you know,
Blake Bortles is quarterback, and of course they had a Leonard Fournette. I mean, they've done great things.
He has, and you know, coming in here, think about Matt LaFleur taking over as a head coach. It's like overwhelming for a lot of people, especially when you're young. And now you got to put your offensive. Well, you went and got a guy like this who has so much history, knowledge of the game, and he's so well versed in it that you just blended him, Aaron, and you together, and now you're finding the best of each world, and it's really difficult to stop.
2nd and 6, as Jones is going to have another big gain all the way down to the 28.
Well, there we go. It's just another run play, and they just keep going with it because you can't play the safeties deep. If you do, we will draw these graphics and show you how cool it is to run right up the middle behind. You got to come up with like a sound for those right there where it's like
be a lot of noises
or something.
Dillon replaces Jones in the backfield.
Dribble 3-3. 8-5-6.
Dillon riding behind one of his blockers, and Bobby Wagner takes the tackle.
Dillon's a little bit more of the battery ram, comes in, gets that downhill, the shoulders, and finishes the run. Jones, the special back, obviously. But I think it's a great 1-2 punch.
8 carries, 35 yards for Dillon. 6 for 19 for Jones, but Jones has been big with those little screens. 4 for 51, 4 for 61. 2nd and 3. Goes back to Dillon. Makes a little cut inside of a lot of traffic, and he rides into Adams just short of the first. He thought he had the first. He's about a half yard short. Ken Norton Jr., the only player in NFL history to play on 3 consecutive Super Bowl champions, with Dallas in '92 and '93, San Francisco in '94. Only ever. Walking away with 3 straight titles.
I wonder if he had a fun 3 years.
Oh my gosh. 3rd and 1. Dillon has been stopped a couple of times on short yardage. This time it's going to be close.
Just an outstanding first move. By 98 come flying in.
Got to get to that
Robinson.
19.
I think he got it. No? I think he got it.
They're moving the chains.
Robinson just quite couldn't wrap it up fully.
This is the part of the field where so many times in recent years, particularly at home, Rodgers and Adams have teamed up. Adams with 11 touchdowns his last 9 home games. He's looking for him. It wasn't there. So he goes the other side to Jones, who drops it with Adams bearing down on him.
This is where Seattle's gotten really good. It's one-on-one. They show it. Did you see that throw right there by Rodgers? A little look off, just barely behind Jones. But look at, you got a backer here. It looks like he's one-on-one outside. And Rodgers goes over there thinking he doesn't have any help. 2 Reed, you're going to guard him by yourself, but no. He's like, we would have had it.
Living and dying with every play.
Well,
2nd and 10.
Gotta love football, don't you? So much passion involved for everyone watching your favorite teams.
And football here is another level. There's Adams. The wiggle, trying to get around Diggs, but unable to. So you got 3rd down coming up. 3rd and about 7.
This is where the Packers, you know, that's why Adams is so consistent week in, week out, right? Very few times do you see him have like 2 or 3 games where he never catches or gets 1 or 2. It's because they get him the ball.
Yeah.
They figure out how just to throw bubbles to him if they have to.
Plays like that.
Yeah, just keep your best player. The more they can just touch it, it helps your team. And
his last 2 matchups against Seattle have been just monster numbers for Adams.
Heads up now for popping out right here on the defensive line. Got to rush him with 4. And then
3rd and 6. Slipping out of the tackle and launching it end zone, and he's picked up in the end zone by Jamal Adams.
Wow. Rodgers felt the pressure, got out of it, and then he's about to take a hit by legendary Seahawk Bobby Wagner, 54, and the ball kind of just floats a little. And who's there to come down with a contested catch? None other than the playmaker, Jamal Adams, and wow. Give up yards, but stop them from scoring. They're doing it.
How about this game? 3rd quarter, just a field goal on the board. Both quarterbacks on their way eventually to Canton, and both throwing red zone interceptions in this quarter. Adams coming away with the theft that time. One of the top 5 red zone defenses, Seattle, as we've echoed a few times today, they showed it again. And there's Collins. This was a lot of pressure on Rodgers when he threw that pass by Rasheem Green.
Oh, it was Green. I thought it was Wagner. 54 is 94.
Hit his head.
Right there.
And there is
Rodgers
Adams.
said, ooh.
That looks familiar to a few folks around here, but not from an opponent. Oh, and they are able to trip up Eskridge, the rookie, their first selection in the draft this past year, just off of IR, activated Friday. He got really knocked over, tumbled over by Rasul Douglas.
Well, Collins doesn't block Douglas. I mean, that's his guy. Collins is supposed to run out there and block him. And if you don't hit the guy on the edge who's coming up to make a tackle, it's going to be hard. And that's where this team, they just too many minus plays that hurt drives because you don't have the O-line to have enough time. Now you got to make the quarterback be Superman.
What a play by Douglas, who has made big plays. What a acquisition by the Packers there. 3rd and 13. The ball comes out. Did he have possession? It's recovered by Green Bay. And the ruling on the field is incomplete.
It's an incomplete pass.
Incomplete.
4th down.
Wow, I actually thought he might be able to get the first down. That's a huge call.
Did,
did it look like he caught it?
Well, never had enough.
No, because he didn't snatch it the first time. It was a double. Douglas with back-to-back huge plays, getting his team the ball back.
Really short work for Seattle after the takeaway.
And this Green Bay defense playing some really good football.
Oh. How about last week and this week combined? Look at this punt by Dixon. Backing up Amari Rodgers to the 22, gives him a running lane, and he's able to fly up ahead to a 37. That's a 61-yard boot, 14-yard run back. And we're going to run it back to the studio to JB and the coach for an update.
Why a matter of principle, Bill?
Dalvin Cook can stop 2 straight downs, and on 4th and 1, Minnesota says let's go for it. He finds Tyler Conklin in the back of the end zone, and Minnesota takes the lead over the LA Chargers 20-17.
That explains it. Back to Jim Nantz.
Boy, that's a good one. These Charger games seem to be, other than the game at Baltimore, so many other games have been compelling like that. Back and forth, down to the wire. And there you see the Vikings with Green Bay's massive lead in the division right now. Vikings needing that one at 3-5. It's Jones, who had a hot hand on the last drive. Picks up 4. Tracy, down to you. Oh, Jones hobbled. Go ahead, Trace.
Well, certainly I will keep an eye on Aaron Jones, but 2 other injury updates. Left tackle Dwayne Brown, their veteran leader on the Seahawks offensive line, is right now questionable with a right hip injury. Jamarco Jones was in there for him. And then on the defensive side of the ball for the Packers, linebacker Whitney Merciless, he has a left bicep injury, and he is officially out for the game. And certainly I'll get you an update on Jones as soon as possible.
It's not good for Jones.
No, it's not. You're talking about, like, as the season gets later, Metcalf, who actually probably got a break by not hanging onto the ball right away, the fumble, but running the ball right here with Jones, playing good defense, that always helps, right? And that always comes down. There's one team who's able to do that a little better, like Tennessee a few years back. I mean, there's always one team who can get on a roll, and you saw the Tampa Bay team, like everyone knows Brady, but you don't realize they ran the ball so well, you know, coming down the stretch when they simplified and started to get running downhill with these guys. And I think you're going to find Green Bay's defense, that's going to help them if they can do. They did it to Kyler Murray, they won. Then they came back and went against Mahomes. And yeah, they lost, but they actually played well. And now you got Russell. I think they're developing a game plan for these guys who move.
Here's Rodgers dumping it off to Cobb. Makes a cut to pick up the first down to the 49. Nice wiggle by Randall Cobb. Yeah, you take Aaron Rodgers and you combine him with a stout defense. Look out.
That's what I think is developing, right? They're not as explosive or whatever, but they're going to be such a hard out with the defense playing like this. I don't think you're going to see too many teams who can beat them.
So we're through 3 quarters. We've had 9 punts and only 3 points. We're going to the 4th. A field goal is all that we have on the board. If you like scores like this, we are your broadcast team to call it. Led by Jim Rickoff and Mike Arnold in the truck and Ryan Galvin. Jim Nance, Tony Romo, Tracy Wolfson. We had Super Bowl 53. That was a 3-0 game at halftime. Patriots over the Rams. But that was 3-3 going to the fourth. It's far more explosive than what we've seen here.
That was far more because it's 3-3.
3-3.
I was like, that. This game feels like 42-35 compared to
that game. That game had one snap in the red zone the entire day. A Sony Michel 2-yard touchdown run. Still can't believe it.
Shows you. Got to be playing defense as it gets later in the year. And give Pete Carroll credit. They've built that Seattle system and that defense all those years.
Defense. 5-yard penalty. First down.
Here's what we've seen in this game. We've seen red zone picks by each team in the third quarter. Russell Wilson's never been shut out. And this is start number 150.
These should be switched. Right there. Right there. Not the streak part. I mean, I'm just saying Rodgers rusty. I think Russell is rusty. I think Rodgers has had a couple of guys hit guys at the last moment. Remember Lazard, the deep one? That was a dime. It's just, that was a poor decision. But other than that, I don't think Aaron's really done a whole lot poorly today. Just hard to create big plays on these two teams.
Here's a 1st and 5. Going down the field for Adams, just a little too low, ankle high.
And Aaron's a little rusty.
Graphic was right. Let's go to New York. Jay being the coach.
All right, Bill, do play-by-play on this.
4th and 1, big people. Melvin Gordon fumble caused by Anthony Harris. Darius Slay picks it up. He's going to go here. Remember, big people on the field, all linemen. And then right here, Teddy Bridgewater decides to make a decision not to touch him. And 77-yard fumble return by Darius Slay, and they now lead 27-13. I guess you call that quarterback a business decision.
Back to Jim Nance.
I'm stunned by what Bridgewater didn't do there.
I don't understand. Either the angle was so off that he kept no, but I mean, you can't do that. I mean, if he could actually have helped and made a tackle,
could have definitely slowed him down.
Wow.
Had a flag after the play.
I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt, right? I'm going to say you the angle, or he like couldn't move,
after
like he hurt his ankle on the play.
Unsportsmanlike conduct. Defense, number 8. 15-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
Carlos Dunlap is called for that.
What? Watch the left side right here. Here's a shoe. And it's one of the guys from the Packers, right? Go get it. Oh, thank you. Right down to them. And then,
how many flags does that generate? 1
and 2, 3, 2.
Go get it.
Go get it. No, you go get it now because you got a penalty.
Well, they'll actually.
That's a big play. A 3-0 game, all these yards, you know, it's like anything like that can make the difference.
15 yards. They actually are able to mark off the penalty and get him down to the area where the shoe was actually on the turf in the end. Made it very convenient.
It was just a smooth walk. They're in field goal range now because of that.
Dillon in with Jones injured. 1st and 10. Quickly to Adams. And he's got 9. Did he fumble at the end of that? It's Green Bay. He's got it. Let's give him 8 on the play. Let's go to Tracy.
Well, they are calling it a knee injury for Aaron Jones, but I will tell you he walked out of the blue tent with tears in his eyes, and he went over and talked to some family in the stands.
Oh, boy.
They are calling him questionable right now. Hopefully it is not too bad, Jim.
Well, just by that reaction,
that
says a lot.
Wow. I'm a Packer fan right now, and I don't like any injuries for anyone, but for your team with a star player, that's a huge.
2nd and 2, Dillon stacked up, and that last little drive probably enough for the first. And if that is a serious injury, this guy right here, his role is the lead guy. Dillon, if Jones is hurt to a severe degree.
That's why you need a 1-2 punch. And you never know. We don't want to speculate on anything, but like Trace, that was great high-level information right there, and you see how it plays out. But that's why you have to have a backup this league. It's about attrition a lot of the time. And
This is the 21st snap by the Packers inside the Seattle 35. 21st. They have 3 points on the board, and they now get it into the hands of their tight end. And Duguara brought down, and Mayowa.
Mayowa right here, you see the tackle at the end. This is a great play design. And Duguara gets out there, but they tackle you when you catch it, right? And that's so much discipline by this defense to stay in their spots with all that direction. And it's looking a lot like...
Don't say it. We still got Thanksgiving first. It's looking a lot like Thanksgiving. Yeah. 2nd and 5. There's Dillon. Got another first down. Nice cut. He's going to have a 1st and goal to go from about the 7.
This is where Green Bay's controlled the time possession, right, Jim? How much? What is it right now? Different. I mean, it's got to be pretty one-sided, right? Doubling them up almost.
It's 31-16.
Yeah, there you go. And that's where this defense has to be wearing down at some point, right? This is right around that time where when you're out there a lot more than the other team, just the tackle starts to be slipped, right? One guy just doesn't quite get to the gap fast enough as he did before.
On 1st and goal. Rodgers still has it and throws it into the ground as he was being chased by, once again, Jamal Adams. He's seen enough of him today.
Well, Adams does a great job of blitzing and timing it. And watch right there on that side. He comes flying in, and then he uses that rare burst, and then intelligently doesn't keep going to the ground with Rodgers there, because I thought he was about to get a penalty, but he did a good job.
2nd and goal. The 100th play of the game by the 2 teams combined. Will it bring a touchdown? It's Dillon. It's Dillon. No, it won't. He got to within about 2.5 yards of it, though, as Adams is drawing in the end zone with Amadi.
Impressed with his finish. We keep talking about that battery ram. You know, that'll give them, you'll see a little bit of that. We miss a few of the other stuff without Jones, but Dillon does have skills that he's able to utilize that are a little different. Couple of hits Rodgers has taken. A lot of pressure there, but here's a big one. Oh no, this is not good for Seattle. That would change. They were all over here. See all these safeties and corners up top of your screen?
The expiration of the play clock. Timeout. Green Bay.
So it ends up the Packers call timeout. You didn't like what you saw in Seattle.
Oh, Seattle got so lucky.
They end up getting Green Bay to burn a timeout.
Well, that's what happens as a quarterback is you're walking to the line. Great quarterbacks want to see what you're going to be in, and then they use all their skill set to say, here are the possibilities of everything. So when they're looking at it, he's walking up, and he's trying to see the leverage of everyone, right? And now they're trying to line up and watch these safeties. They start pointing. Go ahead and run this. Linebackers are pointing. Move over here. Get over here. Wait. What? Why are we all over here? And Aaron's like, wait. You guys are one guy short. You got to cover him, him. Something's wrong here. And so Aaron's waiting to see, and then they had to take a timeout. Indirectly, Seattle was so off that it actually helped.
Exactly. They were so confused that they were so off that they were about to lose the play clock in 5 yards.
This is where, over the years, Aaron Rodgers, in rhythm, is deadly right now, but he used to be able to just slide in the pocket, almost Russell Wilson move, get up, go up in the pocket, start rolling out right, and make some incredible throw in the back, you know, back shoulder on the side, and make everyone look good. And right now you got to make sure that you plaster and don't let him move around on this play.
And Adams coming over in motion. 3rd and goal from the 3. Will go to the ground. Dillon fighting and backing his way in for the game's first touchdown.
I can't believe they made that call, and that's why. With this guy, Dillon, though, you have the ability for him to finish downhill, and what a play call. Seattle is playing pass 100% there, as you see.
Elton Jenkins jumping in with a Lambeau leap to join The running back Dillon, who scores the touchdown. Back and in, by the way. Back and in. Bobby Wagner for the touchdown.
Wow. Wagner has him, but you see the physicality of Dillon right there.
Crosby with the extra point. And it's 10-0 with 10.5 to go. A.J. Dillon with his first rush touchdown of the season.
Well, you saw he went up and did the Lambeau leap. Dillon, right after him comes 74. Someone's got a big bottom in their face there.
An 11-play drive measuring 62 yards. For the game's first touchdown, it belongs to A.J. Dillon.
And that kind of is what we said. Remember at the 8 or 10 yard line we ran for 5 or 6, Jim? It was like those tackles are going to get tougher because they've been on the field so long.
There's T.J. Dallas breaking some tackles, getting near the 35. Good return. Saturday at 3:30 Eastern, the SEC on CBS. Features 25th ranked Arkansas visiting 2nd ranked Alabama. Arkansas, Alabama get you set for kickoff 2:30 with the drive to Atlanta, followed by college football today. Saturday, the SEC is on CBS. So Russell Wilson, his woes in Wisconsin. Well, he's 0-4 in his professional career with 7 pass interceptions. The last time he won in the state was his last year at Wisconsin, his last home game versus Penn State back in 2011. Loves the state, loves the people, but hasn't loved the results in his professional career. He picks up 13 on the run.
Here he actually comes, Jim. He's going to go ahead and use that elusiveness. He's going to use it the rest of this game, and I think you're going to see these guys start to spread them out. No huddle, tempo, pick it up, and then let him just show off what made him great, because it's that time you got to speed it up.
He's thrown for 110 yards in the game so far. Has a completion to Everett. He's had a busy day with 6 catches. Most of them of the short variety.
You know, you were talking about winning on the road. With these 2 quarterbacks, I mean, it's so hard because these are great home field advantage here in Seattle. They really are. I mean, special fans at both sides, they get loud. I mean, this place, since they've redone it and gotten it, it's so much bigger than you realize, and it can get really loud, and it gets going. The temperature, the field, it plays to their advantage. And then you got to go against Russell Wilson on the road or Aaron Rodgers on the road. It's hard to have success.
Yeah. 2nd and 7. A little fake try to get Preston Smith to commit. He's about a yard short of the first. Got a 3rd down coming up.
It's a great job of keeping leverage by Preston Smith. Russell tried to okey doke him and get him to go inside so he could have a ton of space, but he didn't allow it. As you see, great shot.
Yeah, it's starting to really intensify.
Mike Arnold, this is some of the best work our director right there. It's his first year, guys.
It's always high quality.
3rd game he's ever done.
One of the most tenured guys in the business.
Oh, that's right.
Massive Super Bowl veteran. 4 down territory, perhaps. I don't know. 3rd and 2, 8:43 to go. I would think so. Oh, here's the snap directly to Homer for the 1st down.
Wow, that's a cool play because it's a direct snap, but you do it by walking off.
Uh-oh, Rashawn Gary's hurt for the 2nd time in this game. He is in tremendous pain.
He's off to a good start this year. 4.5 sacks.
His arm got caught underneath. Someone landed on it. And Matt LaFleur is saying, no, not another defensive player. And an injury timeout.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Liberty Mutual Insurance. Only pay for what you need. Jardians. And by Gap.
Just seeing the snow. Here we are mid-November. It's that time of year, folks. It ratchets up from here on out to the finish in Los Angeles. Gotta love it. Here's a 1st and 10. And going for it all is Wilson. End zone interception. Amos comes away with it. He was trying to find Tyler Lockett, who has been hardly involved at all today with only 1 catch. And Wilson has his 2nd interception thrown of this game.
Well, they were trying to get it back on 1 play as Lockett does a double move. But 31, Amos never gets fooled. This secondary has played outstanding today.
No kidding.
Amos 31, watch this. Rocket's gonna go up and then go back over there, just like those lines. Watch this. But Amos doesn't fall for it. Because when you throw that ball, you think it's really just about 26 and he's beating him across his face, but Savage had help. And what a high point catch.
That's our 3rd interception pulled off in the end zone. By the way, just to clean up what happened with Rashawn Gary, we did not show the replay of the injury. His arm got twisted in a gruesome fashion. We just thought it was too graphic to show you, but he was helped to the sideline holding the arm. Still in tremendous pain as the Packers take over at the 20 and pick up 4 with Dillon.
How good has this secondary been, Jim? I mean, it's been, we keep talking about this defense, but all day we keep watching Russell Wilson. Where do you go? Not a whole lot there. So then he's trying to look, and then he has to fire stuff late, and they come up and make a play. And then again in the red zone. Covered. By the end of it, you got to scramble around. Look at still plastered. Interception. And then we all saw the last play. The interception in the end zone. This defense is coming alive.
Well, you're talking about the secondary, and the best member of their secondary is still out with injury. Jair Alexander, who injured a shoulder week 4 here against Pittsburgh on IR, 2nd and 6. Bumping it off, and again it's Dillon. Dillon breaking a tackle. We're going to stay balanced. Finally, Wagner just throws him down in frustration.
Getting the crowd going with a simple flat route, but this didn't just happen right now. Great job by Dillon. He's playing. That was a great play. Really cool to see. That was a byproduct of controlling the game and having a defense that's so tired they can't quite finish the end of these tackles, as he do a good job on a block with a, I'll stand right in front of you, but look at all the missed tackles. They're tired. They've been out there too long.
Went for 50 yards, Tony. Longest play of the game. He's got 120 scrimmage yards now.
And he's the kind of back who wears you down, too. So if you are tired, you just keep giving it to him.
And that's what they do. Could have been tackled for a loss. Instead, he picks up a couple. Clock running down to 6 minutes to go, and Packers looking for the knockout punch.
Difficult to come back, go to Green Bay. You know, Russell Wilson, you're going to be rusty no matter what. This isn't an indication of how it's going to go going forward, but it's just this game, it's difficult. It's not easy for anyone to have an extended time period off and come back and play exactly how you were before. And it's even harder on the road and the conditions, and you're seeing that play out that way today.
Here's a 2nd and 8 from the 24. Across the middle. That's Mercedes Lewis. And he falls about a foot short of the first. The Packers with a win would be the top seed in the NFC in the current standings.
That's right, because you got 7-2. You
got Arizona losing today.
And Arizona lost to Green Bay.
Yep.
This is a really top-heavy NFC. I really think this is one of the rare years you got 4 or 5 real #1 seed contenders. I mean, you actually have 5 easily, right? You got the 4 division leaders who are all not good. It's not like you have a terrible leader in a division. The Cowboys, the Packers, the Cardinals. Give me the other one. Fire it up.
3rd and 1. And that's going to be enough for the first one. It's punched. And then you can try to figure out what's going on over in the AFC, where Tennessee holds the pole position at the moment. They're on a big win streak.
Yeah.
But that's wacky over there as well.
Yeah, but I mean, like in the NFC, right? You got the 3 teams I named, the Buccaneers, the champs, right? So there's 4. And then the 5th seed is going to be the Rams.
That's hard to believe.
And that's where it's like, wait, what? These are 5 teams who legitimately have the ability to run through the playoffs. And that's why home field is going to be such a big deal this year, because these teams are so close to the top. And then you start to drop off from there. But it is the most teams I've ever seen that actually could be a 1 seed.
Got a new set of downs at the 15. And the ground game is working, chugging along to the 10. And that time it was Patrick Taylor got the carry as he spells Dillon for a snap, maybe two.
And then you got the Saints, who beat up on the Packers in week 1 and who beat the Buccaneers a couple weeks ago.
Lost today to the Titans.
Lost to the Titans. But you're sitting there saying they're 5-4. They're the 6th seed. Who wants to play them in their first matchup? That's not a great thing because they have a great defense and a great offensive line. And here's the way to finish the game. No turnovers here for the Packers.
2nd and 5. Looking for Adams. Oh, and he wasn't turned around yet, but we got a marker down.
It almost looked like Adams was offsides, didn't it? Or like someone lined up offsides. 98, 33. We'll see. Just to the naked eye, I don't know.
Offside. Defense number 98. Lined up in the neutral zone. 5-yard penalty. Still 2nd down.
That's Alton Robinson going to be flagged for that as Gary, with that arm injury, his arm got caught in a pile and it got twisted in a most unnatural way. So that did not look good. And the Aaron Jones injury's got people even more concerned, given how many times he handles the football for him. Coming out of that blue tent, as Tracy reported in tears.
You saw Matt LaFleur a little explicit when he saw how hurt he was, and that's what you're looking for. You just want to be healthy. It's too late to try and get out of games.
2nd and 1. Taylor got the first. So you got a goal to go situations. The clock moves at 3.5.
And this is a huge drive right here. And I think Pete Carroll understands it's like this is now the time where you're going to. Do you sit here and try and call the timeout?
That's what I was going to ask. What do you do?
I probably would have done it there.
Green Bay will be able to run this down to under 3 minutes before the next snap. Here they are, 1st and goal at the 4.
Just hand it to Dillon.
There he is, stacked up. No gain. Seahawks have all 3 of their timeouts.
I'll tell you, like right here, this weather, Carroll's not going to use it. He's in Green Bay. Maybe it's cold, right? It's like, you got all these people, like, I'm just at home having steak, it's beef, it's what's for dinner. You're going to sit here and you're watching the game, and now you're like, wait, call a timeout. And he's like, no. I think he wants to get out. I don't think he thinks that they could score. Honestly, like, you're going to put Russell back out there with an injury. You know, there's part of this in there that I don't know that you really want to, because for you to get the ball back with 2 minutes down 17, you know, if you're going to stop and use it.
Here's a 2nd and goal, and they get a stop, and we get the 2-minute warning. 2-minute warning. Green Bay pitching a shutout, looking for another touchdown, looking for the 1 seed, and you're looking at the NFL on CBS.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Verizon, the official 5G network of the NFL, and by Crown Royal. Join us at kickoff with Crown.com.
We're coming out of the 2-minute warning, and it's 3rd and goal for the Packers, up 10-0. They put up 391 yards of offense. Didn't get a touchdown until earlier in this quarter by A.J. Dillon, who's the running back here on 3rd and goal. Dillon again. And he crashes across for the touchdown.
And that was where we keep saying these plays and finishing didn't start right here with Dillon. They started by the time of possession throughout the game, and it was going to play out that way the whole time. On the long pass and the flat that he ran, he made all the people miss. And then right here, he finishes with 2nd effort and a little help from his friends.
He gets pushed across at the end by Billy Turner, and now Crosby As the Packers complete an 80-yard drive, Dillon with 2 touchdowns in his last 7 rushes. He did not have a rush touchdown in his first 90 on the season, but he's got a couple in this 4th quarter as the Packers get the knockout touchdown.
Yeah, they do, and I get by with a little help from my friends, and he had it, and
he hugs Aaron Jones.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that was a great moment there. Next Sunday, week 11 of the NFL on CBS, regional action. We're going to be in Chicago Soldier Field as Lamar and the Ravens take on the Bears. Some will see the Bengals battle the Raiders with a late regional game. It all starts, though, at 12 noon with the NFL Today. That's next Sunday on CBS. Again, much of the country getting Baltimore at the Bears. And this time he hugs the 3rd-team running back coming into the game, Patrick Taylor. We got to carry him on that drive.
For a guy like Dillon right there, you want to hug everybody in the stadium right now. This is such a big moment.
Lazard was bowing to him.
He's always played good. You know, it's just.
Well, as Matt LaFleur told us, he's been seeing this coming on in the last couple of weeks. Dallas. And it ends at the 24. Ty Summers with the tackle. Tonight on CBS again, 60 Minutes and never before seen film of the Beatles. And then don't miss the concert of a lifetime, Adele. One night only, including an exclusive interview with Oprah Winfrey, followed by CSI Vegas. That's tonight on CBS. It has been 10 years since the Seahawks were last shut out. 2011 in a game at Pittsburgh was Pete's 2nd year as the Seattle coach. Tavares Jackson was the quarterback that day. In a long time. They've got 1 minute and 50 to see if they can produce something.
Did you keep him in right here, Jim?
That's a good question. Don't see the benefit of it with all that he's been through to get back to this point, but Homer reels it in after a gain of 8.
There is part of it that wants to go home with a decent feeling. That always plays a role for people, right? It's always like, and he's always protected himself. He didn't take big hits. Obviously, one time he got into a position where he had to miss games, but usually, so you trust him, you know, to be smart and get the ball out. But I think he wants to get into a rhythm and start to feel and get some reps.
Let's get a little hurry-up experience again. It's been a while. Almost has that picked off as Stokes jumped in front and batted it down.
There's that secondary. What I think was the difference in the game today was that these guys were able to guard for a long time, and then Stokes with a great play at the end. And only, what, 1 or 2 penalties?
And by the way, Joe Barry, the D coordinator for the Packers, needs a huge nod here. Coming over from the Rams, where he's the assistant head coach to Sean McVay and the linebacker coach. And they went against Seattle 3 times last year, 9 times in the last 4 years. But if you look at last year, they did, the Rams, and again, he's part of that defensive staff there last year, did a terrific job against Seattle and Russell.
Yep.
They held them to 3 touchdown passes, 3 picks in the 3 games combined, and sacked them 16 times.
And that always goes with, like, they have a great plan, and then right next to that, I'm always like, and they have Aaron Donald. And so Aaron Donald always makes it a little easier.
Right, you would think maybe that doesn't apply to this, but
you're
whatever
right.
the scheme is.
No, what I'm saying is, what you're saying is you could think as a general public that it's about Aaron Donald being special, as you see jump around. But it's really, like you said, it's the scheme that is the difference. They have a great plan, and it's been showing up. They do stuff like this, and then they stunt a guy coming around, and all of a sudden these guys rush up this way, and it makes it difficult on quarterbacks.
3rd and 2. Chase is on, and he's the best in the business at extending that arm to get every inch he can when he scrambles. He's got a 1st down.
And not enough people talk about the rush plan against, you know, quarterbacks who can move and extend plays. It's huge. From Russell Wilson, Mahomes, Kyler Murray. So Green Bay playing their 3rd one in a row. They've had a pretty good idea of what works, what doesn't, and they keep applying the pressure the correct way.
Here's the 1st down with just 1 minute and 20 left. That pass, trying to thread it to DK Metcalf. As you take a look at these 2 teams and the standings in their divisions. Out west, Seattle 3-6.
So 5 and 4 is the 6th seed. So the 7th seed is 4 and 5. So Seattle
How about that?
is really with that extra playoff spot at 7.
A skirmish breaking out. Metcalf heads to the sideline, and he may have gotten right in the middle of that.
How many flags are on the field, Jim? Do they have enough?
Well, just in case the other guy didn't get it. The other 5 threw one too.
So Savage and, well,
watch out here.
it is
Oh,
Black
you can't
and
do that.
Metcalf. Oh. That's already a penalty. I think there's another one coming, though.
Yeah, was he done with that?
No, he's not. Oh, right there. Another one.
Oh, my gosh.
Oh, that's a punch. He's gone. That's where the flags came in this one. I don't think they got the other one. But as soon as he gets 21's Mass Stokes. But you can't do it right in front of the ref, Jim. That's the number one way to get called.
You got to scout the area first.
Yeah, you got to see the surroundings. And that's
to make light
There
of
fouls
that
by both
situation.
teams after the play. Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, number 14. Unsportsmanlike conduct, number 73. Unsportsmanlike conduct, number 26, defense, taunting. Those penalties will cancel, offset the down counts. Second down.
Did you get all that?
Yep. Let's just replay the down.
I tell you the frustration he's feeling. I'm not making any excuses. That was not pretty. 3 catches, 26 yards. And how about Tyler Lockett? 1 catch for 7 yards. Those two, one of the best combos you can find, and they had no game here today at all.
Well, the Rummel report said we got to throw the ball deep to Lockett and Metcalf. Definitely didn't happen. That was one of the keys. And I took a shot or two, just didn't have the ability to have time. And I don't think he's coming back, Jim. Metcalf just got disqualified.
Yep, he's just be an eyewitness to the last minute and 19 seconds.
Seattle's going to be okay moving forward. Trust me, that Russell is going to figure out.
What do you mean by that? They're 3 and 6. You already pointed out the 7th seed right now does not have much better than a 500 record. So the season's not lost here.
No.
Because you got the 17-game season.
Yep, and the 7th seed. And I think Seattle's going to be in the mix all the way to the end because I think Russell is going to improve this. I think their defense is better than it was early in the year. I think they're starting to give them opportunities. They just need Russell to get back to being himself.
Here he throws in the direction of Penny Hart.
And as great and for him to come back that quickly and give his team a chance, to come out, but at the same time, it was a tall task to come in here and play as if you hadn't missed a beat.
Oh, Metcalf tried to enter the huddle. You're out.
Oh. No. It's funny. Some guys might be able to kind of sneak in, right?
Yeah.
But it's like, you're the tallest
What is
receiver.
up with that?
You're very explosive. He goes, listen, I tried. He goes, I tried.
3rd and 10. Everett. It's near the first down.
That was funny. That's where he goes back and says, oh, I didn't know. They kicked me out? I didn't know that.
Have you ever seen a guy, maybe he didn't know, but have you ever seen a guy who's been tossed try to re-enter a game?
Well, the thing is, if they say it on the field, but usually they don't, someone doesn't go over the sideline and be like, hey, buddy, you can't go back in. They just tell the coaches and they announce it, but if you're talking, I can see how you couldn't hear it.
That's a catch. Another one by Everett.
I could also see how it's a good excuse to pretend like you didn't hear it and go back in.
Yeah. 8 catches for Everett for 63 yards, and he did not get out of bounds. So the clock is running. Only thing now that's up to be decided, will Seattle somehow get on the board? They got a man open. Oh, and it's broken up at the last moment by Amos. As Lockett, for a moment, was left alone, but enough air under that pass for Adrian Amos to get over there and break it up.
Amos plays both guys. You'll see at the top, 31 has to guard all the way to the sideline and the middle of the field. And he does a great job in just showing again the level that this defensive secondary has played today.
37 seconds. We can call it a night here shortly.
Ooh, you're making a call? You think
it's close?
Bay's going to win this one?
As Homer goes out of bounds. Minnesota a winner at the Chargers. How about that performance? Gets them to 4-5. 4-5 puts you in second place in the NFC North.
4-5 is in the playoffs. One team at 4-5 is the 7th seed right now. So it's like, that's how far you got to get to. Now, someone could get going a little bit, but looks like those top 5 teams are definitely going to stay out in front.
Here's another throw deep, and it is almost picked up for a second time by Amos. They were going for Eskridge, the second-round pick out of Western Michigan, who's been out since week 1 with a concussion.
And this is where these coverages, they're so deep and they're playing shell, which means 2 safeties back get to come over. And Russ having to throw into pressure, not able to, but I like Russell trying to score. You know, it's like he's still competitive and trying to go. He knows.
Hey, they've thrown a lot of deep balls today. They just haven't completed any of them.
They've completed them, just not to their own team.
Yeah.
Really, I mean.
Long ride home.
It is.
Seattle coming off the bye. So thrilled to have the quarterback returning, and it's a tough place to come in here as evidence through all the recent history anyway, just to get a win here in Lambeau for the Seahawks.
What is Matt LaFleur and Aaron Rodgers at home since they've been here? Aren't they like 38-2 or something?
He's 30. It's going to be 36-10 overall. And Rodgers,
20-1 or 2 or something like that, I think. We talked about it a couple weeks back. They're probably like 24-2.
Here we go with just 20 seconds. Smith gets to him. Sack number 3 for the day by the Green Bay defense.
And the plan that we talk about up front, the movement, it's really given this front trouble, and Pete Carroll called it at halftime. We've got to protect the quarterback, and they have not done that. The combination of all of it makes it a possible shutout.
How about this? You come off a game where you, again, hold the Chiefs. And we know the Chiefs are still trying to find their way, but you hold them to 237 total yards, as Green Bay defense does last week.
Yep.
And now you've got Seattle under 100, 190. And looking for a shutout for the Packers. It would be their first shutout administered since 2018 in a game against Detroit. Seattle took a timeout. They are determined to try to figure out a way to put something on the board, do anything.
Yes, they are. You don't want a 0. As an organization, as a team, and there's something about it. And it looks like they're going to have to accept it here, because they're going to need 26 yards.
Home win, 451st home win in team history.
Wow.
Been jockeying right there with the Bears, who were on a bye. So they move a game ahead of the Bears on that all-time list. The Bears next week will try to get 451 when they host Baltimore. A game we'll be calling in our regional action. So here we go.
Aaron sleep better tonight?
Knowing that. Oh, yeah.
They won the game. A couple of tough weeks behind them. And
Wilson gets it to Lockett. And Lockett is knocked down to end it. The Seahawks blank for the first time in 10 years. A 17-0 shutout by the Green Bay Packers. And after a week of scrutiny, introspection, a lot of reflection, as Aaron Rodgers noted in an earlier interview, all of that to get back to football here for these 60 minutes, and the Packers are able to win it in the end in a convincing fashion, shutting down Seattle today 17-0.
Green Bay is a complete football team right now, Jim. If they stay healthy,